She ran. She'd finally orchestrated an opportunity and she'd run. Twigs snapped under her bare feet. She hardly felt the pain. It was the sound that rattled through her. They'll hear. They'll find me. She ran faster. Branches reached out and scraped her skin. She slipped on some wet leaves but managed to stay on her feet. She couldn't breathe, but she kept going. To her left, she could hear cars. It didn't sound like a freeway, but maybe a rural highway. Should I try to hitchhike? But the thought of getting into a car with another stranger was too much. She needed to get as far away as quickly as she could, but she wasn't getting into a car with anyone. Logically, she knew the likelihood of finding someone as bad as those she was running from was remote. But logic wasn't forefront for her. Right now was flight mode. Survival. Darkness started to close around her like a cage. Go deeper into the woods and stay there tonight? She thought about rest, that she needed to stop and sleep at some point, but she couldn't get her legs to stop running. She'd run miles already. She'd probably collapse before finding enough control to get herself to stop. Lights in the distance. Flight mode subsided slightly. Her survival instincts screamed at her to stay away from people, but she knew she couldn't stay out here in the woods the rest of her life, however long that ended up being. If she were back home, she'd have a fighting chance. But she didn't know this area, what kinds of animals were native, which plants were edible. As she slowed her pace, she realized how cold it was. She approached the edge of the woods and peered around a tree to the source of the lights. A truck stop. There were so many gas pumps she couldn't count them. There were big semi-trucks with their rumbling engines that made her nerves feel like lit matches. They sounded just like the truck she'd been thrown into back home. The one that had taken her over the border to this country. That was actually better than what she'd been living through the last several days. On the truck, there had been many women. They'd had one another for warmth, for comfort.